When you first look at this product, you might think you know what's going on, but very quickly you realize there's a lot more than meets the eye. Hi, I'm Joe with Gramophone, and today we're going to take a look at the NAD Masters Series M10 V2. And we're joined by David Dunn from NAD.
Thanks.
David, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
Good. We're so glad you came down from Canada to be with us to take a look at this product. And the first question that I have for you, this is clearly not your average 17-inch plastic front panel kind of a product. So can you tell us a little bit about what the thinking was with this unique form factor and some of the unique things that are under the hood?
Yeah, absolutely. Really, I'll call it the design idea and specification was to build, I'll call it a full-featured integrated amplifier, but in this compact luxury jewelry box style case. So it really does, especially when it's off and not being used, it really does kind of disappear into your environment. A lot of people don't want, a big, bulky, traditional looking component. So it really lends itself to hide away and disappear in a lot of different spaces, especially more contemporary living spaces.
And I think because NAD is so good at making things sound great and perform great for the money, the fact that this is also really a beautiful product makes it especially interesting to me.
Wildly successful for us. One of the advantages to some of our hybrid digital platforms that we're using is they no longer require giant power supplies that take up a lot of space. So you really do have a lot of design flexibility that, a decade ago just wasn't even imaginable.
So, David, one of the things that's so intriguing to me about this is that this front panel display not only looks really cool and you can see meters and that sort of thing, but also this is actually an interactive display. You can use this to control the product.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a full-featured touchscreen on the front, so it really does remove, the buttons and knobs of traditional components. The beautiful thing about that as well is it gives us design flexibility that if things change software-wise down the road, we can add buttons without actually adding buttons. So it's a really, really flexible, and it's beautiful. It really does, it's a Gorilla Glass front and top. So it really does, make it a very clean, discreet looking package.
It looks gorgeous with the glass front and top. And what are some of the things that you can do functionality-wise with your fingers, if you wish, when you're standing in front of the product with the front panel?
Yeah, there really is no feature you can't use from the front panel. You can change inputs. You can actually customize it depending on what your playback source is. Like we've got a ton of different features, and input built into the back of it, but you can tune them. For example, let's say you have a CD player hooked up to it. You're not going to get album art like you would through some of the streaming services, but so now you can do an analog or a digital view meter for your streaming services. You get the options of album art. You can customize it to really make it your own piece.
So David, sometimes with a beautiful component, which this one clearly is, you kind of skip over the sound quality, but this is an NAD, and in my experience, it sounds fantastic. Maybe you can tell our viewers a little bit about how you made this thing sound as good as it does. What are some of the things under the hood?
Sure, yeah. This is one of our Master Series levels of components, so it is a step up from our regular series. So we use a couple of different versions of our hybrid digital amplifier platform, and this is the Encore version of it, which is, a step or two above what you would get in the Classic series. So even though it's a small, compact box, you really do get big performance in a small package. And then to take it to the next level, we include DIRAC inside. So you actually have the ability to do room correction to really take your system to the next level. The hardest thing for any designer to do, whether it's speakers or amplifiers, is know what room it's going to be in. It really is the last variable in an amazing sounding system. And DIRAC really does take that to the next level.
And DIRAC's on board as well. It's already built into this
Absolutely.
product.
It's super easy to use as well.
That's a tremendous advantage. David, in looking at the back panel of this, I see a lot more functionality than I thought that I would see in the back panel. One of the things I love about this is that you can hook up twin subwoofers, and in so many of the components that are out there, you have either one sub out or sometimes no sub out. You talked a little bit about room correction. My gosh, if you really want to get control over the room, a lot of it happens in the bass regions, and the ability to connect two subwoofers if you want to, I think is a huge benefit. Maybe you can also just take us through a little bit more of the connectivity that we have on the back and explain all the flexibility, even though it's a very compact product.
Yeah, even though it's a small box, we didn't skimp on inputs and outputs. The dual sub out is a huge advantage. As you mentioned, controlling bass, and even with direct room correction in there, bass is the hardest part to basically control. Having the ability to do two subwoofers is a big advantage. In addition, we have a pair of analog inputs. We have optical and coax input, and even an HDMI eARC, which has a little neat trick up its sleeve as well. If it's connected to a display, it'll show your album art up on your display as well. So you actually get an extra benefit with that as well. In addition to the physical inputs, you actually get two-way Bluetooth, Apple AirPlay, and the M10 V2 actually has our BluOS streaming platform built in, which is how most people basically are getting their content now, is through streaming. So you have a huge selection of streaming services, high resolution, all at your fingertips.
Can you say a bit more about two-way Bluetooth? Because some of our viewers might not know.
Yeah, it's a really neat system in that, you can Bluetooth from your phone to the player, which, as everybody knows, is not going to be the greatest sound quality necessarily. But the advantage is if it's hooked up to, let's say, a display, or you're streaming from your favorite streaming service at night, you can send audio out to a pair of Bluetooth headphones, so you don't have to worry about, waking people up in the house, or maybe you live in a condo or an apartment, which in a small form factor is, quite often the use case for it. You can actually get some late night listening in, whatever your favorite pair of Bluetooth headphones are. You basically put them on, pair it, and now you get audio coming out of the device into your headphones.
Obviously, one of the benefits of pre-out is if you upgrade, let's say, to a much more bass capable and better pair of speakers, you can connect a much bigger amplifier. I think specifically in this product, you've got this gorgeous, easy and fun to interact with piece that if you decide on, you don't want to have a rack full of these huge components in your living room, but you realize that for the speakers you've chosen, you really want more power. Well, having a pre-out on something as stylish and compact and beautiful as this, I think that's a wonderful functionality.
Yeah, it's part of our philosophy is to give you the ability to grow your system. So like you said, we might start off in a condo with a small pair of, let's say, bookshelf speakers and a subwoofer or two. But as your needs change, maybe you move up, you get a big pair of towers and you want more power. You don't have to do away with, the investment you've already spent. We even have people that right out of the gate, because it's so beautiful, they'll buy that with a big pair of speakers and a big amplifier and use it out of the gate because it really is an attractive device.
Mm-hmm. So David, let's talk a little bit about more control options. Obviously, you can control things in a really cool way from this front panel, but a lot of times you're not gonna control it that way. You're across the room on the couch. So if you can, talk a little bit more about the control options we have.
Sure. One of the nice things about the M10 V2, if you're using BluOS, you can obviously use your smartphone. So whether it be Android, iOS, tablet, even Apple Watch, we have basically there is no limit to it where it's a room-ready endpoint. So tons of different ways to control it that way. But we actually include even an IR remote in the box. So if you don't want to take your phone out, simple volume adjustments can be done very quickly on the IR remote. Smartphone is the way that most people are controlling it. It is really I call it the most advantageous way of doing it, but you do have a full feature set as well.
Yeah, this is obviously the way a lot of people control their systems these days. Additionally, here at Gramophone, of course, we do a lot of custom integration work. So I believe that this will function well with virtually every control system that we sell.
Yeah, it fully integrates it. Like you say, it could be a standalone piece in one room, or Gramophone can integrate it with whatever control system you've picked.
Mm-hmm. So David, it seems like there's an ever-growing list of streaming services that this actually will interface with. Can you update us there?
Yeah, we have over 20 different streaming services, so all the most popular ones are there. It's an ever-growing list as new ones come on board. In addition, you have AirPlay 2 and Bluetooth, so even non-traditional streaming services, you can get your content into there very easily.
And a good friend of mine recently upgraded to one of the premium streaming services and was blown away by how much better it sounded. It sounds like you've had a friend of yours do the exact same thing.
Yeah, Blue Sound and NAD is all about, high-res content and getting people better quality audio. It's a huge advantage. If you haven't tried out one of the high-res services, get a free month trial, try it out. I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised.
Streaming used to be about convenience. Now it's about convenience and good sound quality.
Yeah, I mean, data rates and Wi-Fi are so much better than they used to be. There really is no reason to use a really low quality stuff if you don't have to.
So David, I think a real capper for this piece, it's obviously gorgeous. We've talked about so many control options, but tell us a little bit about if we want to have music around the home, what options there are here.
Yeah, our BluOS streaming platform that's built into this also exists in a bunch of other NAD products and our sister brand Blue Sound as well. It really gives you an almost unlimited number of choices. We have 70 different products past and present to choose from, and you can add up to 64 rooms, so it really is a powerful system. Most people don't have 64 rooms, but you really have no limits is what you can do. So everything from standalone powered speakers to separates to beautiful pieces like that, and everything in between. We cover a huge variety of price points and feature sets for everybody.
And I know that this, very unusually for a 2-channel amplifier, a stereo amplifier, this can actually become a 4.2 surround system.
Yeah, so the nice thing about it is it can be the front 2 channels of a surround system, and then you can add some Blue Sound products to power your rear channels and do a wireless home theater system in a beautiful little package.
And with the sub-outs, 2 subwoofers as well.
Exactly.
David, thank you so much for
having
taking
me.
us on this tour of what really is a pretty amazing product. You can find out more about NAD and all of our great brands at Gramophone.com, and be sure to shop at Sky by Gramophone, where we've got an incredible variety of products you can order with a secure checkout, fast and free shipping straight to your door. We'll also put our social media links down below so you can check those out as well. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. Drop a comment down below if you would, and remember to click that bell icon so that you're always notified the next time we post some new content. We're filming today from Gramophone's Experience Center in Timonium, Maryland, an amazing place where you will see amazing things. Shop any of our 3 stores in Timonium, Columbia, and Gaithersburg, Maryland. And remember to check out our Kitchen Design Center in Hunt Valley, Maryland. Thank you for watching this video. We look forward to seeing you soon.